Have you ever caught a woman looking at you from across the room, but the exact second your eyes meet hers, she quickly turns away and pretends she was staring at nothing? That sudden, almost frantic shift in her energy isn't random. It's not a coincidence, it's not an accident, and it is definitely not meaningless. Most men walk right past this exact moment every single day, completely blind to what just happened right in front of them. They assume she was just looking around the room, or worse, they think she isn't interested because she looked away so fast. But in reality, you just witnessed one of the clearest, most undeniable signs of deep instinctive attraction. To truly understand why this happens, you have to throw away the old idea that a woman who likes you will always make it obvious. Society teaches men to wait for massive clear signals, a bold smile, an easy conversation, or a woman walking right up and flirting. But real psychology works in the exact opposite direction. When a woman feels an intense, genuine pull toward a man, her immediate instinct isn't to put her cards on the table. The stronger that sudden magnetic attraction is, the more guarded, subtle, and self-conscious her behavior becomes. The moment she realizes she is attracted to you, a heavy wave of self-awareness crashes over her. Her mind instantly shifts from relaxed and carefree to completely focused on how she is being perceived by you. She suddenly cares about how her hair looks, how she is standing, what her face looks like, and whether or not you are paying attention to her. That intense internal focus creates a sudden spike of nervous tension inside her body. She isn't acting cold or distant because she doesn't care. She is acting that way because she cares far too much and is desperately trying to stay in control of her own feelings. This creates a fascinating battle between her biological desires and her emotional protection. On one hand, her natural instincts force her eyes to track you, to check where you are in the room, and to absorb your presence. But on the other hand, her protective ego panics the second you look back, terrified of being caught staring. She freezes because looking away is her defense mechanism. She feels vulnerable, and the thought of you realizing just how much power you suddenly hold over her emotional state terrifies her. That brief, frantic moment when her eyes dodge yours is actually a silent confession. If she felt absolutely nothing for you, she wouldn't care if you caught her looking. She would hold casual, empty eye contact with a blank expression, or give you a polite, meaningless customer service smile, because you carry zero emotional weight to her. But when she snaps her gaze away, fixes her shirt, or suddenly acts overly busy with her phone, her body is leaking the exact truth her mouth won't say out loud. Her physical actions are completely giving away the hidden tension she is trying so hard to bury. Men constantly miss the mark when reading a woman's interest because they are endlessly waiting for loud, undeniable, unmistakable signals. They wait for verbal confirmation, an obvious invitation, or a bold, direct move before they ever feel confident enough to act. But genuine female attraction almost never works like a direct announcement. True desire is quiet, subtle, and incredibly delicate. It reveals itself long before a word is spoken through split-second micro-behaviors that happen entirely on autopilot. These are physical reactions that she cannot plan ahead of time, cannot rehearse in a mirror, and absolute cannot hide, no matter how hard she tries to play it cool. What you are actually seeing in these moments is a silent war happening inside her mind. It is her conscious ego desperately fighting against her subconscious desire and her fear of vulnerability battling directly against raw, hardwired biology. She might want to present an image of complete composure, total independence, and utter indifference. But her nervous system simply will not let her get away with it. The human body is a terrible liar when chemistry enters the equation, and her physical reactions will consistently betray her thoughts every single time. The single most reliable universal indicator of attraction is the sudden friction-filled shift in her nervous system, the instant you enter her physical space. To catch this, you have to learn to watch her before a single word leaves her mouth. A woman can be standing around looking completely relaxed, slumped over slightly, laughing casually with her friends, and moving with total freedom. But the second she senses that you are nearby, her entire physical posture undergoes an immediate subconscious calibration. Without even thinking about it, her back straightens up, her shoulders pull back slightly, and her chest lifts. Her breathing pattern visibly changes, shifting from deep and casual to shallow and controlled as her heart rate quietly spikes. Her hands will instantly find something to do, automatically reaching up to adjust her hair, smooth down her outfit, adjust a piece of jewelry, or touch her collarbone. These smooth, rapid adjustments are not random acts of simple vanity, nor are they mindless habits. They are deeply rooted biological instincts firing off in real time, forcing her body to subconsciously prepare itself to be seen, judged, and evaluated by you. An indifferent woman treats your presence like wallpaper. She remains completely neutral, effortless, and unbothered because you simply do not register as a threat or an opportunity to her nervous system. But a woman who feels attraction gets instantly activated the second you step into her field of vision. Her internal baseline shifts immediately. Her environmental awareness sharpens to a razor's edge. Her heart rate spikes, and her emotional energy undergoes an instant transformation. You can watch this change happen in real time if you pay attention to her conversation style. She might suddenly drop her relaxed demeanor and become noticeably quiet, reserved, and slightly nervous because she is suddenly overthinking every single word. Or her system might go into hyperdrive, causing her to turn loud, overly energetic, animated, and talkative just to hold space in the room. The direction of the shift doesn't matter nearly as much as the shift itself. The moment her baseline breaks, her composure has leaked. This sudden rise in energy isn't happening because of some clever pickup line you dropped, a slick joke you told, or a strategic game you played. Your mere physical presence acts as a direct catalyst, triggering the visible symptoms of a desire she is actively trying to cover up. When a woman is attracted, keeping her cool requires immense mental effort. And that effort creates tiny, obvious glitches in her behavior. She might stumble over a simple word, laugh just a little too quickly at something that wasn't that funny, or lose her train of thought mid-sentence the moment you lock eyes with her. When you train your brain to spot these brief fractures in her normal routine, you completely stop guessing, stop chasing vague hints, and start reading raw female psychology with absolute clarity. You will never again make the amateur mistake of confusing basic, polite customer service friendliness with true, genuine attraction. That internal tension inevitably creates an undeniable subconscious feedback loop where her physical body steps in to confess every single secret her mouth refuses to say out loud. The very first psychological confession you will witness is automatic mirroring. Human beings are hardwired to physically emulate the people they find high value, attractive, or captivating. If you lean back comfortably in your chair, watch how her body gently tilts back a moment later. If you rest your forearm on the table or take a sip of your drink, notice how her hands instantly imitate the movement without her conscious mind ever registering it. This is not a random coincidence or a lucky guess. It is a deep-seated biological drive to synchronize her body language with yours, creating an unspoken sense of harmony and alignment between you two. Beyond basic mirroring, you have to closely monitor the precise way she manages physical space and distance around you. A woman who holds zero interest will effortlessly maintain a comfortable, polite buffer zone, keeping her distance without even thinking about it. But a woman who wants you will strategically, almost magnetically, inch her way directly into your personal space. She will maneuver herself. So she is standing or sitting just a little closer than necessary, intentionally setting up micro moments of physical proximity. You'll notice her body angling so her shoulders and hips directly face yours, or she might orchestrate accidental physical contact, a soft brush of her arm against yours as she reaches for something, or her knee, gently touching yours under the table. These micro touches are her body's natural way of testing the waters, building subtle physical intimacy long before any explicit move is made. Finally, the ultimate physical confession lives directly in her eyes, because eye contact during true attraction operates on an entirely different wavelength. A woman displaying routine social politeness will give you standard, predictable eye contact. She looks at you while you speak, then casually scans the room when the interaction pauses. But when deep attraction takes over, her eyes betray her immediately. She will lock onto your eyes and hold your gaze for just a fraction of a second longer than social norms dictate, creating a brief, intense moment of shared awareness before looking away. If you look closely, her pupils will subtly dilate as her brain processes high emotional interest, and her eye contact will carry a distinct, radiant warmth and softness that no one can ever fake. Her mouth might be playing it cool, but her gaze carries an undeniable invitation that dares you to pay attention. When a woman feels a powerful attraction to you, she won't just stand back and passively hope you take notice. She will instinctively begin finding subtle, smooth ways to weave herself directly into your immediate environment. She starts taking up space in your world, building a personal dynamic that belongs only to the two of you. One of the most immediate shifts you will hear is the sudden transformation in her voice. The moment she transitions from talking to everyone else to speaking directly to you, her vocal tone undergoes a subtle calibration. Her pitch softens, her pace slows down, and her voice lowers into a warmer, much more intimate rhythm. It is almost as if she is intentionally carving out a quiet, private bubble right in the middle of a noisy room, dropping her volume just enough so that you have to lean in a little closer to hear her. Alongside this vocal shift, you will notice her using low-stakes validation to keep your focus locked entirely onto her. She will laugh effortlessly at minor jokes or casual comments you make, things that aren't even exceptionally funny, simply because her brain is searching for any valid excuse to reward your presence. That laughter isn't fake, and it isn't simple politeness. It is an automatic biological response designed to make you feel comfortable, capable, and centered in her universe, subtly prompting you to keep giving her your undivided attention. However, as this connection builds, you will inevitably witness her cycle through a psychological dynamic that confuses almost every untrained man. The subtle dynamic of emotional push and pull. One moment she is intensely warm, engaged, and highly attentive, and the very next moment she suddenly steps back, acting slightly reserved, cool, or aloof. Most men panic when this happens, misinterpreting it as a confusing mixed signal or assuming she has suddenly lost interest. In reality, this brief retreat is a hardwired internal test. The moment a woman realizes how much attraction she is feeling, her defensive instincts kick in to balance the scales. She steps back to evaluate how you react, to see if you get needy, if you lose your composure, or if you have the emotional groundedness to hold your frame and match her energy without flinching. It is her way of checking whether your confidence is real or just a front. The foundational truth you must understand is that women rarely hide what they truly feel. They simply express their desire through micro actions, behavioral shifts, and subconscious signals that require sharp, calm perception to spot. When you master the ability to read these quiet patterns in real time, the fog of uncertainty completely evaporates. You stop guessing where you stand, you stop overanalyzing every interaction, and you begin moving through every social setting with absolute clarity and undeniable confidence.